All right, welcome back, NU Auto, for our episode 2. This time we are joined by our special guest, Cole Briggs, along with Melissa and Layton, part of the NU Auto Club here. Today we're going to start off with Cole Briggs giving us a quick introduction, a rockstar introduction, as LG likes to call it. So just who you are, where you're from, something cool about you, and then something you got, looking forward to this summer.
Love that. Oh, and thank you for having me on the show. Thank you to all of you for having me on the show. I'm super, super excited.
Yeah.
I've heard great things about what NU Auto has in store in the future, so we're really hoping to market this super well, so I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
So my name is Cole Briggs. I'm the general chair of this year's auto show. So this year's the 60th anniversary, so we've been doing this for 59 years. I honestly can't even believe that. I haven't been alive that long.
No,
that's
time.
really crazy to me to fathom. So it's exciting. And we'll get more into it, but our show dates are first weekend of October, so we're pretty pumped for that. We got a lot of good stuff in store this year.
We do.
So, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff we can kind of get into that, as we go into the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as we start too, we always do like a drink review kind of style. Last time it was a Dr. Pepper strawberry and cream.
That was
LG
really
seemed
good.
to like it.
Whoa, really?
So this time we have Gold Peak peach tea for Cole to try.
Okay.
We have what is it called?
Mexican rice water.
Yeah. And then Layton brought a.
Yeah, I brought you some tropical Red Bull.
I love it.
So you can go ahead and choose which one you want to
Okay,
try.
we're gonna
All
start-
three, just a little sip.
We're gonna start with the peach tea.
Nice classic one.
I love it. Peach tea, no way. So I used to, one of my favorite things when I was younger. Everybody loved getting the 99-cent Arnold Palmers, which are
Oh,
still,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure,
yeah.
99 cents.
I think they're 89.
They're
89 cents?
They're 88 at
No way.
Walmart.
Okay, I've not gotten recently, but
Yeah.
amazing things. Oh, it smells good too.
Mm-hmm. Gold Peak's my go-to, so.
Gold Peak, made with cane sugar. I can taste the cane.
I can tell where
This
it's
is
from.
really good. No, this is really good. All right, Mexican rice water?
Yeah, it's called horchata.
Say that one more time.
Horchata.
Horchata.
Yeah.
Horchata, right? For those that are...
And it's from the Mexican restaurant down the street.
Okay. For those that
So local.
can't see what it looks like, it almost looks like milk that has brown sugar in it with what looks like either an old piece of pasta or an ice cube. I'm going to go with an ice
Nice.
cube. I'm gonna
I hope it's
go-
ice cube.
Smells like what Mexican rice water might smell.
Smells like Mexican rice water.
Crazy.
Oh, it's so interesting. Okay. Come on, Cole. You can do this.
It doesn't bite.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Was it what
Okay,
you were
wow.
expecting, or?
No, not what I expected at all. Okay. So it reminds me of when you're done with Cinnamon Toast Crunch
Yes.
with in your cereal.
Uh-huh.
It's like that, but it's got more of a different flavor though. But it's like, I don't know. I'd almost say better. We'll say you.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is my go-to cereal, so I
Amen
don't
to
know
that.
better.
Amen to that. It's good. Okay, now we're on to Red Bull. Which I used to be a pretty avid Red Bull drinker. I've
Laid off the
I've laid off the caffeine.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't go back into.
Layton's gonna start a
Uh-oh.
bad addiction.
Yeah. Thank you, lady.
I was not here.
All right, what is this one? So for those that don't know, this
Yellow
is the
edition.
tropical one. So it's a yellow can, and it's Red Bull.
I think it's only like 80 milligrams.
Ooh. Yep. Oh yeah, that's good.
That's
Yes.
Red Bull.
That is. Yeah,
He's like, I'll take that.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. No, that's really good. So are we sponsored by any of these? Is that
Not yet.
No, not yet. Okay.
Maybe Gold Peak people hit us up,
Yeah, exactly.
Every week we try to do a different drink or multiple this time.
No, yeah, that is
so-
awesome. Thank you guys for letting me try those. This is new. I've never had Mexican rice water. So
I know, I'm
thank
glad you
for
brought that.
new-
Jeez.
The new addition.
Good surprise.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, we want to start off with some of our topics. So, Melissa, if you want to start off with our first topic that we want to go at.
So, what is it like a day in the life of a general chair?
So-
6 months out from the show.
6 months out from the show. Is that already? We're already 6 months out, aren't we?
6 months out.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
I did know that actually, but still, holy moly.
He's
that's
counting
crazy.
down the days.
I did not know. So that's a super good question. A day in the life of the general chair. Now, I think one of the cool things about the auto show too, that I'll touch on first, is the general chair. It's new every year. So every year you're having a totally new, totally new leadership, which there's pros and cons too. I would say more pros because there's always like new ideas that are trying to be implemented.
Yeah.
Which is super exciting. But with that, you get totally new personalities, totally new like backgrounds, new majors and stuff like that. So for me, although I'm not automotive, so I'm a operations and supply chain major. I'm double majoring in finance. So I'm also doing finance. So I don't have any automotive classes right now, believe it or not. But in the morning, so we'll start with, your typical day. Let's see. It's been pretty rough lately, but I'll be completely honest. So we wake up, we have our big breakfast. So for breakfast, try and guess what Cole Briggs has for breakfast.
I'm assuming you don't have a meal plan, so I'm assuming you're
two
staying
Red
in
Bulls.
the-
Oh yeah, true. I'm in. Crazy lady.
Every day.
So I'm in North. I'm in
Yeah.
North right now. So you're right. No meal plan. So if I make breakfast, what is Cole making?
I'm thinking 3 scrambled eggs with cheese
Okay.
and some oatmeal with a little bit of brown sugar and a nice glass of orange juice.
I love it. Any other guesses?
Maybe
on
it's out of
sneakers?
bacon or sausage.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna guess avocado toast.
Okay.
Probably wrong.
That's okay. Keep going. What are you?
You said a big breakfast, so I'm guessing it's like those waffles that you stick in the toaster.
Playing us off like he's
So, you're the closest. You're right. Dead on. 3 scrambled eggs with cheese.
Okay.
And you said bacon, but we usually put like whatever meat. They're usually salami or ham, whatever. And I usually have a bagel with cream cheese or something like that. Avocado toast sounds really good. I'm not a huge. I like waffles, but that's almost more of a dessert to me, to be completely honest. So I have breakfast in the morning, and then I do everything else in the morning. And then I go to class. Right now I have all 10:30 classes. So truthfully, I wake up and I actually answer emails for an hour and a half. Then I have my breakfast. So I'm typically, up around 7. I'm everything ready by 8. 8 to 9 is when I'm doing more of my email grind. So we're just either planning out the day, planning out the week, truthfully planning out the months, because it's all about planning is what we'll get into more. And then we're out the door after breakfast. I usually have my classes vary, but I have classes from around 10:30 to either usually around to 1:30, depending on the day. And after classes, then I usually head over to the NADA boardroom, and I have an office over there. And so I'll be in there. I'll either say hi to LG. We'll talk about some new ideas that we got going on. Occasionally, actually very often so. Today you got me on a good day. Wednesday is my big meeting day, so I meet with all auto show related meetings. I have all today. But I usually have some meetings throughout the week as well for auto show. And I'm doing that for an hour and a half, and that puts me around 3 o'clock usually. And about 3 to 5, I'm a student worker in the Northwood Administration Building. So that's that. And then I head home, have some dinner, and I usually have a night class on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is kind of a bummer, but that's okay. We're all for learning and stuff like that. The other days, I'm usually trying to pound out homework, or Wednesday nights we have GAP, which is one of the Christian ministries we have on campus, and I play piano for that group actually, which is super exciting.
Nice.
So that's just the day in the life of like what Cole does, I guess. As a general chair, there's a lot more that kind of goes into it. You have to be, and we'll talk more about it, but like it's always a hawk over the email. There's a lot of different connections that we are consistently trying to keep up to date with, and there's a lot of delegating and a lot of like administrating for the general chair, which is super exciting. There's a lot to it, so I'm sure we'll get more to that too.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the day in life.
What do you expect your day in life to be like a month out to show?
Ooh, month out to
come
show.
back to campus after summertime, a little
good.
bit more relaxing,
That's so true, yeah.
Hit the grind,
So I'll wake up, I'll just think about auto show, and then I will pretty much think about auto show all day and do stuff for auto show all day, and then I'll go to sleep and I will dream about auto show. Not gonna lie about that. No, so that's really important. So what I will say, and I didn't touch on from the 6 months section, we're doing a lot of our planning right now. So a lot of our planning for that week, so hence auto show's only like a weekend. So we have a lot of time to plan for. We're nailing down a lot of different things right now, including events, including logistics. Those are like 2 main things that run throughout that whole week that need to be planned out way ahead of time. We're doing that before the semester even ends. We're hoping to have that finalized before then. That way people can take a break and actually focus on their internships and jobs and family over the summer, because we all know like auto show is a volunteer thing for us. We have classes, we have work, we have other stuff that we have to attend to.
Yeah.
And as students, it's a great opportunity, but we do have other stuff going on. So that's what we're doing right now in terms of the 6 months out. Now to jump to 1 month, hopefully by this time, a lot of that stuff is planned.
Yeah.
We're adding the final touches to what we need to do. We're organizing still a couple of the weeks of trying to add in anything that we necessarily need to increase. It's a big push this year is for marketing. So we've been consistently reaching out to different companies, different people in the industry, different news outlets, hence NU Auto. So again, I'm honored to be on this podcast. Different things like that, where we're trying to finalize and like invite as many people as we can that month of. But a lot of meetings. The day life during that is going to be literally waking up. I'm going to be doing my online Masters of Finance, Masters of Science in Finance. So I'll be hopefully doing some of that class stuff in the morning. But then after that, it's going to be auto show the whole rest of the day.
Wow.
And it's going to be super, super exciting.
Yeah.
Because you two are going to be super busy. It's going to be awesome. We're excited. So yeah.
You kind of touched on, like logistics and planning. What's something that like you've been a part of the auto show for a couple of years now? What's something you've consistently seen like maybe struggle that like you're kind of trying to focus on a lot more this year, especially early on?
That's a really good question. So a little background for me actually. So I started in the auto show. I was a freshman. I came in to the auto show and I was a team member of Cadillac and I watched the show all be done and stuff. And it was really, really cool. Again, not an automotive major at this time, but I was a part of it. And so got to experience a little bit. And I was like, okay, I saw somebody walking around with a walkie-talkie and they're like dressed up in a suit. I was like, I want to do that. I want to dress up and I want to have a walkie-talkie. So I applied for logistics chair. I ended up not getting it that first time I applied for it, but year came around again. It was right after COVID. I applied again and I actually ended up getting it. And first thing we talked about was how are we going to, move cars on and off in the best way possible. And a lot of that came down to, and what I've seen struggle with in the past couple of years, and what we're really working on nailing down this year, is our communication with our team captains and our team members. That's one of the biggest things. So you have the general chair, who's at the top. Then you have all the board members under it. So we have 19 board members this year. Under that, you're going to have about 50 to 60 we're going to have 50 to 60 team captains, and they're going to have their co-captains. So it's roughly around 100 people. And those people are going to have, it varies between 2, sometimes 10 team members. We're looking right around, I think 400, if that math is correct, depending on what it is. It falls in and out of that. So we have to communicate to a lot of people some of the smallest details that are necessary to knowing when moving cars on and off. And there hasn't been a great way, from what I've seen, there hasn't been a great way to do that in the past couple of years. So we've been really focusing on we're going to probably end up having more meetings, to be completely honest, more like smaller group meetings similar to this, not like one person talking to 50 people. So communication, and you'll hear that in businesses everywhere. That's like one of the most important things. And that truthfully has been one of the biggest issues. So
I think those smaller meetings would be helpful too, especially for like, freshmen or newer people to the auto show that are still kind of confused with like, I'm a captain, but what do I do? So we kind of experienced that a little bit last year with Lexus, but we figured it out and had a good year. So
that's good. Yeah.
But so.
I guess the next question was, what are some things that you're looking forward to in this show specifically?
Yeah, good question, Layton. That's true. So with it being the 60th anniversary, we are pumped to try to get a lot of people to the show this year. Anniversary, those are always super, super big. So there's a lot of pressure to make it a really good year. But a big thing is we're, trying to bring a lot of people back to the university that haven't been in a while. So people that have participated in the auto show in the past years, we want them to come back for the anniversary. Excuse me. Let me drink my Red Bull. I'm just kidding. We're doing tea. We're doing tea.
I gotta stay where you faked me out.
So a big thing is marketing this year. And I talked about it a little bit in the beginning, but what I'm probably the most excited for is the photographers and the videographers that we're lining up for the campus. We really for the actual show. We want to showcase how great our students are at this actual show. And I think with the increased communication too, we are able to hopefully, a big thing that we're trying to implement this year in our culture is ownership. When you're able to take ownership in something, you automatically usually like become way more passionate about it, and that passion like turns into results. Whether it's success or failure, it depends, but it turns into results. And so that's what we're super excited about, is if we can continue to get that culture to implement it throughout the whole, like everybody involved, we think we can build up the organization from within. And I think the team captains will be able to really showcase their booths really well this year, and also their team members, and just showcase Northwood overall this year. So I would say those are the things that we're probably the most excited about, which I know not necessarily is something tangible. We're still working on some of the tangible things, and those are going to be some big reveals. We have rumors right now that we're potentially going to get some electric trucks, which would be super exciting.
Yeah.
I know somebody that knows somebody that's going to do that.
I know somebody too.
Yeah, dude.
It's crazy.
So that's going to be a pretty big thing this year, especially with the new EV vehicles just everywhere. We're pretty pumped for that. So there's a lot of different moving parts. We're also working on food trucks this year. We're pretty pumped for that. I'm proud to say that we're going to have those this year, which is going to be super, super exciting. Still working out contracts, stuff on the back end, but it's going to be really exciting. It'll bring a whole nother audience to the show, and it adds. Food trucks are novelty, it's important. It's an outdoor show. You need some of that.
Especially like the younger generation, like the kid, he wants the elephant ear.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the snow cone.
Yeah, the thing that he's going to remember.
Cotton candy machines.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean,
blue or pink.
No.
Both.
No.
No, it'll be good.
That's cool. And I like how you mentioned too the videography and like photos and stuff with it, because if you look it up right now, like Northwood Auto Show, you really don't see too much online about it. So trying to explain to like companies like, hey, why shouldn't you come? Like you can't really show them all too much, but if we get one really good year of showcasing it, look at this video. This does so much more justice than just like word of mouth. Like,
No,
we'll just do one show. Like you can put more value into it for
so
people,
true,
and for people to come. I mean, a lot of people have to come a long way. So if you can convince them with video,
I agree. We had last year. We had somebody send cars. There was the Winkleman collection last year, all the way from Florida. That's crazy. Now that was a Northwood alum, so there's a connection there, which is super helpful. But people hear about that, and that grabs their attention. So we're actually in the process right now to get more cars from that collection down this year, which we're super excited for. Sweet. But it'll be super cool this year. And you're right. There's not a whole lot online right now. Now we did look actually right before this. If you do type in auto show, at least on my computer in the Midland area, we do come up. I will be honest, like we do actually come up.
That's cool.
Now the Detroit Auto Show comes up before us, but
as it should maybe.
Yeah, true. But we are on there. But that's a big thing we're working on marketing, not just marketing at the actual show, but we're working at different ways to utilize search engine optimization in order to just like use data to like drive a lot of our audience and like increase our demographics. So that's something we're working on the back end. It's super new to us. We don't know much about, but we're really excited about that.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. And then I kind of wanted to ask, how did you get into this position with General Chair? You kind of went over it before, like, your laddering, you started in Cadillac and then moved up to logistics and whatnot. But like, what kind of made you say, I want to do General Chair? Why not just stay with logistics again and
it's true
and go for there?
That's a really good question. Yeah, so I'll kind of go off my timeline a little bit too. So I was team member at Cadillac. After that, went for logistics, didn't get it. Got logistics the next time, and then I was a sophomore, going to be a junior that time. So then I was the logistics chair for my junior year. Then I stayed for logistics again. So I did logistics twice, and I was logistics the 59th year, which was last year, as a senior. And now I'm going to be, as a grad student, I will, if I graduate, I'm just kidding. I should graduate.
It's only 3 classes short, but maybe.
Cliffhanger.
It'll be this general chair. I will be honest, it was last year. So I got to work under Taylor Timashak, who was a general chair of the 58th year, and then Ethan Chetta of the 59th year. And both of them did amazing jobs. I respect them and look up to them for so much of what they did right and what they did wrong. It's good to admire both. More so what they did right. I thought it was super important, obviously. And and I wouldn't even say did wrong. There's just, learning opportunities. That's all I'll
or
say.
missed opportunities.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Missed opportunities. So it was almost kind of a mental game. I want to say that I spoke it into existence, if I'm being completely honest. As soon as I wanted to be general chair, I went to our advisor, LG Bright. I was like, I was logistics chair at the time. I was like, LG Bright. I was like, LG. It wasn't I want to be general chair. I said I am going to be general chair 2020, in 2023. And I just kept that mentality going forward. It was that confidence that I think really drove me. As soon as I did that, and as soon as I mentioned earlier, was like, okay, I'm going to do this, no matter what it takes. Not no matter what it takes, but I took ownership in it. From then on, I took ownership in it truthfully before I was general chair. I was like, okay, if I'm a general chair, how am I going to want to run things? How am I going to do stuff? So I would take notes. I was taking notes of how to do the general chair stuff, what to do for general chair stuff, as I was still logistics chair. And I think that in a way, I would like to say spoken into existence. It ended up with my confidence and with kind of things that I either presented in my interview or just showcased as logistics chair. I think that helped a lot. One of the main things I think that actually got it for me was my ability to understand and know. I was very rounded, I think, in my knowledge of the auto show. So I was in logistics. I did logistics, which is during the auto show, the logistics chair ultimately kind of becomes in charge. I'll be completely honest. You send the general chair to do all the press stuff. They do all the media. They do all the events because they're the face of it. But during the show as logistics, you're in the behind the scenes. You're organizing everything, making sure everything runs smoothly. And when you see it from that angle, you see the whole show entirely. And I was able to see it from a logistics standpoint, from an event standpoint. I was able to learn how to finance the show, as I was just close friends with the finance chair, so we worked closely together. And being a finance major, that's something that I was super, super interested in. And then from the marketing standpoint, I'm not necessarily a marketing major. I know what grabs my eye. And so I was often working with the marketing. I was we need to see more videos. We need to see more pictures. We want something to showcase what the auto show is. And that overall rounded experience I was able to bring into my interview. And I think that's really what kind of showcased I can do this. I'd like to work with people. And a couple of days later, I ended up getting announced, and I was pretty excited. Yeah, it's been a big responsibility. Yeah, thank you. It's been a big responsibility, but I think the biggest thing was the confidence in it. And I was a small thing I think that's super important is I was talking to Ethan about it. I was like, hey Ethan, how can I do this? When I find somebody on now I'm looking for somebody under me who wants to know more about it, because I'm willing to teach and willing to show people how to do things or just take general feedback. But I think reaching out to the people that have actually done it has been super important too. So
So would you say that's kind of your biggest piece of advice is just kind of going after it, almost, I guess, is a simple way of putting it. But
what's cool at Northwood, there's a lot of safety nets too. This is a perfect opportunity to learn, and I think that kind of what grabbed me the most towards the general chair thing was this is a perfect opportunity to learn, to apply what I'm learning in class and apply it to real life scenario. And so that kind of motivated me a little bit more to do it. But in terms of a tip or a trick, I would say the most is look for it early on. Try and pave a way. How am I going to become the best leader, and what can I do in the meantime to get up to that? Because it's not, yes, I was in auto show for a little bit, or I've been in auto show for the last couple of years, but I also focus on other leadership opportunities. I've participated in the fashion show as the finance director for that. So I have a couple of people under me when I was doing that. Some other stuff that are escaping me, but I'm on the signature events and alumni team. So we're often, going to events where we're networking with professionals, not necessarily just in the automotive industry, but in business and stuff like that. And so that kind of creates more of I think a leadership persona that really, really helped going into it. But I love it when people just ask me questions, because I want to teach more people about it. I want the general chair position to be sought after so much. I would like it to be hard for LG, and so LG and I picked the next general chair. I want it to be super hard for us to pick the next general chair. And so yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Northwood gives us so many opportunities just to have out of class experiences, which is just crazy. Like you mentioned, the marketing and the finance and the logistics and all that stuff that like you can't just pick up and do somewhere else, as easy, I guess. So, and in all different aspects of it.
So true.
But yeah, do you guys have anything else you'd like to ask Cole while he's in our presence?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're okay. I got some Red Bull over here if you want.
Oh, swag. I do love Red Bull. In your time in the auto show, what has been your favorite moment of all auto shows that you've been a part of?
Oh man, it's almost hard to pick a specific moment. I would say the best. It's kind of a little kid part of me talking. I love the walkie-talkies. I love communicating with our team on the walkie-talkies. Yeah. First off, it looks sweet. You look cool.
Like an FBI agent or something.
Exactly.
It looks sick.
You're in charge. Like whoever's got the walkie-talkie, you're listening to them.
Yeah. And you're in the golf carts riding around.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm excited for.
And you're in the golf carts. So like the planning and the organizing of it, like seeing it all come together and picking like a moment super hard. But I would say like the moments when I'm like talking with our team, on the walkie-talkies, we're organizing stuff. Like that part where like so many different parts are moving, like in that, and like all the pressure and all the just like not chaos of it, but like the constructed chaos of it. That's the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
But it's like all
he's in a movie.
Yeah. Main character vibes. Yeah.
He's in the suit. Main character vibes.
Yeah. So that's probably the best. I've had one thing I will like to tell you guys. It's been a little different now. We haven't had a whole lot of meetings lately, but like come like that month or like 2 months before showtime, we see a lot of each other, and I've made some of the best memories with the past board members. It's a bittersweet. I'm excited because I get to lead now, but I'll be honest, like I miss my past board members. I'm the last one from the board that I was a part of. There's nobody else left, and it's cool because I have new friends now. I have new members, but I miss them.
Yeah.
So no, that's a super good question. Yeah. No, that's good. So many good memories.
Well, cool. We want to thank you again, for taking the time to join the NU Auto podcast, our second episode. So we're looking to get a couple more episodes out before the semester ends. See where it takes us. But yeah, we'll try to keep Cole's vision in our eyes and his passion, put it towards NU Auto and everything else in your life. So
that's awesome. I think we got a lot of collaborating opportunities too in the future.
Absolutely.
Pretty excited.
Cool. All right. Thanks again, guys, for watching, and we'll see you next time.